Good morning, good afternoon, beautiful people. How are you doing? Welcome back to the Littlesilver channel, and for my community, thank you so much. I do appreciate your support, and for the new viewers, please thank you so much for dropping by, and please consider to subscribe and support our community. In this channel, we do experiences based on lifestyle, adventure, and the risks in between. In today's video, we are going to look at UAE Residency Visa. For a longer period of time, this has been the norm, and this is a category that falls if you are not doing the UAE Golden Visa, because you know the UAE Golden Visa has a different and also a higher expectations and requirements as well. So for normal longer term residency visas, we have two-year business visa, we have 2-year work visa, or 2-year work permit visas. If you have you need a business, you need to operate a business, then you need to have a business license. So this visa basically comes together with a business license as a package. If you just want to have a longer stay in the UAE, then you can get a normal sponsored visa, which you are able to live in UAE, sponsored by a company, and you can be able to do your own activities because you don't have to worry about changing your visa after every 3 months, because the visitor visa is after every 3 months. The UAE residency visa ranges between 6,000 dirhams and 10,000 dirhams, depending on the package that you take. Business visa, or a work permit, or a freelance, or if it's a sponsored visa. So for the residency visa, you need only your passport, your old visa. If you have a cancelled visa, maybe from your former employer, or you have a visitor visa which is expiring, so you need your passport, your old visa. And for some countries, like at the moment Kenya requires you to give a good contact or police clearance certificate for you to be issued with any visa in UAE at the moment, regardless whether it's visitor, whether it's residency. So for other countries it depends, because most of these requirements differ from country to country. This visa takes as much to process just like an employment visa, and the process is that you submit your passport to start the processing, and then with this you have your sponsor, who is a company or an individual. Mostly it's company, and then the company usually has a PRO person, or the public relations officer, who is in charge of everything that goes with your application. So your documents need to be typed before they are submitted to the immigration portal. Then your PRO will update you, or the sponsor will update you on the next steps that are required. So after the typing and the approvals are done, then you're required, within the application process, you're required to take a medical checkup. And the medical checkup is usually included, or by some sponsors it's not included, so maybe you may be required to pay extra for your medical checkup. And after the medical checkup, then you get an approved labor card. This labor card means like you can work for this sponsor, or if there is any agreement thereof that your employer can give you an NOC to work for another company and a special worker, then you can be able to go and work. After the labor card is issued, then your application then goes and starts to process your real residency visa, that is a long-term visa. And with this comes with like the insurance, your Emirates ID, The importance of this visa is that you can fully like open bank accounts, you can operate bank accounts, you can take driving, you can take a driving course. Although in some schools you're required to show a utility bill, which is not so hard to show. You can, if you're living in a rented house, and depending on whether you paid by check or through a bank, then you can be able to show a contractual term, that a contractual paper that or document that shows you are paying a utility bill. Then after the whole processing, then your PRO gets your visa stamped, and then you can have your passport, you can have your documentation and everything else. The same process for the residency visa applies if you have an employer. It's basically the same process. The only difference is some employers choose to keep people's passports, but then with the new UAE law, I think it's going to be a little bit better, let's hope. So what are the advantages of having a residency visa? I have seen quite a number of professionals that can really do well on a business visa, and these are like small business owners or startups, although there is a whole category of startup visas which you can be given to do a startup. But you can get a residency visa as you work on your startup and get all the required documentation, because it's easier for you to get all the licensing and stuff. Then we have remote jobs. Before, recently, when a remote work visa or permit was introduced, then you could just get this UAE residency visa, which you can as well at the moment. You can get it and be able to just live in the UAE. If you work somewhere else and you choose it's UAE, you just need to work from. Then we have part-time jobs. We have also a few companies that contract people to work part-time. This could be in cleaning jobs, security jobs, sales jobs. So when you have your own visa, it's easy like to roam around, because if you get hired by whichever company, then the company doesn't have any obligation to make you a visa, and they don't have to get into trouble, maybe to get a fine for hiring someone without a visa. Another funny one is that you may just want to escape home, like myself. If you just want to change your environment, or maybe the environment you are in is not working for you and you just need a new environment, just go to any country that allows you to get this type of visas. You can come to UAE, get yourself a UAE residency visa, and with this visa you can always go out of the country and come back to the country without any restrictions. Unlike having a tourist visa, which you cannot just walk out of the country with a tourist visa and come back. Anytime you step out of the country, your tourist visa is void. You can come to Dubai. It's an international hub, and you can easily reach different other parts of the world when you are situated centrally in UAE. So it's a good one for also people who like to travel, business partners. It's a whole range of people who can benefit from this visa. Content creators or YouTubers, for those who are looking to expand their reach to other countries, you can always go somewhere, and UAE residency visa would be a good visa for an opportunity for a YouTuber or a content creator to expand their boundaries. Another advantage of UAE residency visa, you can get it if you are a multilingual speaker, because you would stand a very high chance of having demand jobs. You can always do, let's say, translation jobs for different entities and be able to earn a good money. So that is it for UAE Residency Visa. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next video, and please don't forget to subscribe, share, and give me comments as well, and see you in the next video.